Steamboat Willie is in the public domain, but there's more characters that will be about to enter the public domain. Part 5. So, let's get started. And before we start, I'm gonna talk about how it works. So, the copyright system is basically the same as the patent system, which protects small artists. In fact, the copyright system also gained a 21-year rule, similar to patents. So, intellectual laws were kept relatively short back then. Until, when patents remain the same today, the copyright system kept extending further, becoming longer. When I can only tell, it gets pretty longer as it gets. So, let's get started on for this. Do you know last time that I did Toy Story for part 3? Well, I don't forget about the sequels that come after it would be entering the public domain as well. So Toy Story 2 will be entering the public domain until 2095, number 3 in 2106, and number 4 in 2115. And the new release Toy Story 5 will be up for grabs until 2122. Monsters Inc. will be entering the public domain until 2097, but you can't use the prequel until 2109. Finding Nemo will may enter the public domain until 2099, but you can't use Finding Dory until 2112. Can you imagine Eddie Murphy going to the public domain? So, the Haunted Mansion movie, which was the Eddie Murphy version, will be entering the public domain until 2099. So, probably it could mean that many kids and families will be able to, make their own Haunted Mansion movie and then sell it. The Incredibles will be entering the public domain until 2100. But you can't use the sequel until 2114. Cars will be entering the public domain until 2102. Well, since there are a lot of Cars ripoffs out there, but in 2102, you can actually make your own Cars movie, call it Cars, and sell it to people. Cars 2 will be entering the public domain until 2107, and Cars 3 in 2113. Ratatouille will may enter the public domain until 2103. WALL-E will may enter the public domain until 2104. Up will may go into the public domain until 2105. Brave will may enter the public domain until 2108. And let's not forget about Inside Out. So, Inside Out will be entering the public domain until 2111. But you can't use the new characters until 2120. The Good Dinosaur will may enter the public domain until 2111. Onward and Soul will both enter the public domain until 2116. And finally, Lightyear will be up for grabs until 2118. Alright, so we're done with Pixar movies, and now we're gonna move on to consoles going to the public domain as well. So the first one is basically like Atari. So Atari will be entering the public domain until 2073. The NES will may enter the public domain until 2081. Super Nintendo will may enter the public domain until 2086. Sega Genesis will may enter the public domain until 2085. Nintendo 64 will may enter the public domain until 2092. The original PlayStation will may enter the public domain until 2091. PS2 will may enter the public domain until 2096. GameCube and Xbox will both enter the public domain until 2097. Xbox 360 will may enter the public domain until 2101. Xbox One will may enter the public domain until 2109. The Wii will may go to the public domain until 2102. And the PS3 will be also being joining in 2102 as well. The PS4 will may enter the public domain until 2109. And finally, the PS5 would also be in the public domain in 2116. The Nutshak, one of the worst cartoons ever made, will be entering the public domain until 2103. And finally, the Sausage Movie in 2112. Windows XP will remain to the public domain until 2097. Apple will remain to the public domain until 2072. Amiga will remain to the public domain until 2081. Beetlejuice will remain to the public domain until 2084. The Corpse Bride and Robots will both enter the public domain in 2101, and YouTube as well. I also had thought of Me at the Zoo being the first YouTube video ever posted. Would may enter the public domain in the same year. Probably it would happen anytime. SML will may enter the public domain in 2103. Stampy Longhead will be entered the public domain in 2107. I heard in the news that Technoblade had passed away in 2022, so his channel will be entering the public domain in 2093. Dan TDM will be entering the public domain in 2108. Roger Rabbit will may enter the public domain in 2084. Space Jam will be entering the public domain in 2092, but you can't use the sequel until 2117. Osmosis Jones will become copyright free until 2097. Coraline will enter the public domain in 2105. Mario 64 will may enter the public domain in 2092. The Jack game and Luigi's Mansion will both enter the public domain in 2097. So if you want to make your own LP game, so you will have to wait until 2104. Annoying Orange in 2106, and Fred in 2101. And finally, Mixels in 2110. So all of this could mean that we'll be too old to comprehend what is going on, or maybe we'll be long dead. Oh well, that's it. The whole legacy of my public domain videos. Well, I hope you enjoy all of these. Hit that subscribe button and click the notification button when we upload new videos. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.